Okay, I think it's recording now. I'll do my quick little intro. So, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another weekly Forex analysis. This is a little different. Today, we are here on Zoom with a bunch of our followers and viewers all pitching in to say their ideas and also just join the weekly analysis live. So, this is going to be really exciting. This is for September 22nd up to the 27th. So I haven't done my analysis yet, but we're going to go through it live right now. So let's start getting this ball on a roll, right? Wow, we have a lot of you in here, surprisingly. I think we have 15 people. That's a lot more than I expected, and people are still joining. That's great. All right, so let's see. Let me set this up and then Zoom. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it works. Let me know if you guys can see the thing. Here's my chat. You can see, everybody can see the charts, right? Should be only be the charts. All right. Okay, I think you guys can see it. So first up, I haven't done my analysis at all, right? So we're going to start from scratch. This is Euro GBP. This is unfortunately the pair that did not work out for us last week because one, I was following a little too closely to Alex G. Like I was looking at his story and I was like, oh my God, he entered in the position here. I should enter in too. And then I screwed myself over with this loss. So unfortunate. It happens. I wasn't trusting myself enough, following too closely to my mentor. But let's just see if generally is it still a good pair to trade. Looks a little choppy. Looks kind of bad, right? I was initially looking for this bullish move to come back, retrace, and then go long. Looks like it's just continuing bearish and also not retracing enough. Everybody can hear me, right? Someone said I can't hear you. I think everybody can hear me. That might just be your... Okay. Yeah, everybody can hear me. Okay, so this one is a no-go, so we'll just put it at the bottom of the list. Euro AUD was our other pair last week. Looking decent on the daily time frame. We have bullish structure coming back, retesting this area of interest. It is below our EMA, but that's not too big of a deal. I wish it was starting to reject off at this point. That would have been nice. 4 hour is not looking super clean. It's a little ugly. And what I mean by ugly is there's a lot of these wicks, right? So a lot of these wicks are not looking too good, but let's see, anything important here? Not too much. Not looking the best for me, honestly. So we'll keep that at the bottom of the list too. If it doesn't look good, there's no need to look at it, right? NZD USD. All right, let's check it out. This one's looking okay. I told you guys about this trade in the beginning of the week. Unfortunately, I could not catch it. But super clean anyways, right? This is just a beautiful, perfect breakout retest, reverse head and shoulders, using the, the demand zone, like I talked about, using the 0.618 zone. Look at the 0.618 zone, guys. Come on. Look at the wick. Look at the wick on this thing. Like, it's so disgustingly precise that it's so accurate. It's just crazy, right? It's absolutely insane. This one though, for this week, let's see. Daily is it's too choppy for me on the daily, right? We're having way too much of this. It's moving too sporadically. So I think I'm gonna skip out on this one, but I'll leave it like closer to the top just in case. GBP AUD, this one is looking clean. This one is looking very clean, right? So we have reverse head and shoulders here, very clean. Breakout, retesting the reverse head and shoulders neckline. We tapped into our daily EMA. We used this point as a support. Now we broke above this area of interest, hopefully going to use it as support. We just need a quick wick back and break upwards, right? So we move down to the 4 hour. This is beautiful as well. We could see the 4 hour shifted into bullish market structure, right? We were bearish and now we are shifting bullish, coming back, hopefully going to retest this area and then go long. We have our 4 hour EMA lining up really well with the area of interest as well. So that's looking very clean. I wish I could draw my fib sequence like this and then wait for it to come hit our 0.618 zone, but that's like really, that's lengthy. It's a lengthy way down to the 0.618 zone. And at that point, we would have like a bearish engulfing daily candlestick, which is not what we want. Also, we would be breaking below this area of interest, which is not what we want, right? We don't want to buy when we're below an area of interest, right? We do have a demand stick here, so potentially we might have some sort of maybe 2 hour or 1 hour fib kind of level. I normally don't. I like to skip sometimes the bearish candlesticks, but when there's like a lot like this, right? There's a lot of momentum, and sometimes it's like kind of not accurate to really use the fib sequence, but we'll see. We'll see. So far, this would look decent. Kind of lining up a little bit better. We could see we have our 1 hour demand here. We have a 2 hour demand open here, lining up exactly to the same pip. 4 hour demand is looking pretty clean right here. 30-minute demand, we also have one right here too as well, right? We do have a 30-minute demand here, right? That hasn't been tapped into yet, but we're not really looking for that position because if we do look into that position, what are we going to do? We're going to have like a huge stop loss. No, that's not what we're looking for, right? So in this case, entry would likely going to be either 0.5 or this supply zone. And then either have, I would like to probably put 0.5 and then put it halfway between, right? Something like this. I also like to use the measuring tool to just, go down from the 0.618 zone down to the 1. And then it shows that little red bar exactly where the halfway point is. So sometimes I just like to put it at the halfway point between 0.618 and 1. And that's basically it. That covers a lot, all of our demand zones. That covers previous market structure on the 30-minute. I wish it would cover more market structure on the 1 hour. Like I wish I could cover this, but it's a little too tight or too big of a stop loss. And then 2 hour, it's covering all of our demand zones, so which is really good besides this one, but this one we don't really care about. So overall, I think this could look really good, right? We retrace back. We have our 2 hour EMA lining up really, really well. 4 hour EMA is lining up really, really well. 1 hour EMA is lining up really, really well. So we're just waiting for this retest, right? Coming back, retesting this area of interest, using the EMA as support, using all these demands as support, using this previous market structure as support, going long, right? So it looks very good. So we'll keep this one on our list for this week, looking very, very clean. I have Bitcoin here. I don't really trade Bitcoin. I just kind of like to see where it's at mainly. Like this is just random. I don't really have this for anything. Same with gold. I just want to see where it's at. Nothing important. USD JPY is looking pretty clean. We have an area of interest here, right? That looks like it's getting ready to go short. Our daily is pretty short, right? A lot of people say, oh, but there's this blue bullish candlestick. Is this not bullish because we broke above this? No. I don't like to see this as even like one candlestick when there's this big of a move downwards, right? We're just kind of skipping that one. We just want to see that the general push is more important to us, right? So we can see it already tapped into our 0.618 zone on the daily fib sequence. 4 hour, I would like to see a shift of structure. Hopefully maintain below this area of interest. Let's see, probably just get like a quick shift of structure or something like that, and then should continue short. So we'll see. I would like to use another fib sequence, hopefully something like this, and then we can just wait for this retracement back into the 0.618 zone to go short, right? And then this would kind of make somewhat of a reverse head and shoulders. But we're not here to predict the market. We're just here to try to see what it's going to show us. So hopefully it'll line up pretty well. Daily EMA is pretty far. Someone says it can retest daily EMA. It can, but that's really, really far, right? We would have to have a candlestick that reaches basically all the way up here, because it's not enough time for it to reach this area of interest to use it as support. It's already at the level, right? It's not even approaching it. It's already there. So this one is decent. We'll keep it on the list for now, but just kind of waiting to see for lower time frame market structure shifts, right? Also, this weekly has been really very far in the negative, right? We got to be careful when we're putting in sells when we're this low after a huge bearish push. So just got to be cautious. And then weekly for USD CAD is looking very, very clean. This was the pair that Alex G traded last week, right? He unfortunately got stopped out at break even, but let me just show you guys. I was like talking about this with one of you guys in my comment section. Look at how exact he could have been if he used our entry model. This one he would have easily closed this trade 100% in the profit if he used our entry model, right? So if we look at the 4-hour, right, we have our huge push, then we have our 4-hour demand here. We have a 2-hour supply here, 1-hour supply here as well. And he could have just, entered at the 4-hour supply, which is the earliest one to hit. He could have had his stop loss even tighter, honestly. Knowing him with this challenge, he likes to keep his stop loss very tight. But, keep it above maybe the swing high. You have all your supply zones covered and your 0.618 zone covered, right? And you just wait for the push, and he could have gotten that almost instantly. And I'm sure he would have closed out probably right here at a 2.3, right? And if not, then maybe he sets his stop loss to break even, but still he would have hit a nice, 2.5 on the next big push downwards. So he could have really profited big for that one. This one wasn't on my pair last week. I was only watching it because of Alex G, and I didn't enter in the trade because, I was upset about the other loss, right? But we could see it also respected this 1-hour EMA really well. So yeah, it's looking very, very strong. This week specifically, though, I think it is looking pretty strong. Let me get rid of all this stuff so it's cluttering my space. I also have to make sure the time is okay because this is going to end in like 15 minutes. So I might just speed run some of these just so we can have some questions just in case. Okay. So this is looking decent. We have somewhat of an area of interest down here. This is like a lower time frame area of interest. All right. Okay, we're using as support, resistance, or resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance. It's looking okay. The thing is, I don't like how this changed into bullish, right? It's very unfortunate that a lot of these time frames switched into bullish just because of this kind of huge engulfing candlestick. 2-hour is still bearish from that huge push. 1-hour, I guess, is technically still bearish, but there's just like a lot of chop in between. So if anything, we would have to do something like this. This might be a maybe. This might be a maybe pair, right? So if anything, we would enter probably at the 0.5 zone. But the thing is, we don't have any demand zones within our area, right? It's only this one, which was already tapped into on the 30-minute. But at this point, this is like a very scalping type of trade, right? This is very intraday. We're not looking for a swing trade here. So this is a maybe. I'm gonna keep this at whenever I have a maybe, I always keep it at below the Bitcoin and golds here, just because it's a maybe. NZD USD, we already went over. GBP NZD looking decent, looking pretty good. We're continuing weekly bullish market structure. I like how we had a huge rejection wick down from that area of interest. That's looking very nice. It's okay. We don't have many supply zones, not many supply zones at all. We have this area of interest up here that we might be using as resistance support. We're already seeing a lot of rejection wicks from it. Even if we break out and retest from it, we don't have any like supply zones to really bounce off of besides this 1-hour. That's basically it, right? This 2-hour is way too high up. This 4-hour is way too high up. We would have to see a massive push, something like this. But at that point, it's way too late, right? This is the push we're trying to catch. So GBP NZD is probably a no for me for this week. This was another one that I unfortunately missed out on, but we never got a lower time frame shift of structure, but I, accurately predicted it to almost to the exact pip again. Yeah, we never got the 4-hour shift of structure and never created demand zones, so it's unfortunate. Weekly looked so strong too, but unfortunately we're at like a really big high right now, so unfortunately this is probably a pair that we cannot trade. We might have we have like a small area of interest here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. 4 hours, not looking the best, but if we draw a fib from here to here, 0.618 zones lining up with our area of interest, but we don't have any supply zones. This was basically already tapped into. This is the only one that we haven't really tapped into. It's a little too far down. EMA is not really lining up that well. The only thing is the 4-hour EMA, if it does retrace back. This one will be like a maybe, right? This one will be a maybe pair again. I'll set an alert right here. Not guaranteed, but we'll see, right? This will be like a maybe if price decides to trace back that far. So we'll see. We'll see. This would be also a very tight stop loss. So probably a maybe. We'll keep it down here. AUD USD. Daily breaking above these highs and holding above. Is it good enough though? We are at a weekly high. Do we want to continue upwards? Potentially, but we don't have enough of a breakout to use our fib sequence, right? It's too low for us to reach the 0.618 zone, and at that point, we're below our area of interest. We don't want to place a buy below our area of interest, right? So that's a no for me. NZD CAD, strong area of interest on the daily, but I really don't like to use these area of interests where it's only like one top at the top here, right? Even though technically it can be an area of interest, it's just not that clean. Like resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, but it's very choppy, very ugly on the 4-hour. Not a fan. AUD JPY could be looking good for some shorts. I'm not sure. I'm not really a big fan of JPY right now. There's a lot of news coming out on the JPY pair, so I think I'm going to skip on that one. GB CAD, very strong weekly bullish push upwards. Daily, we would need a very big retracement back, right? This was also a very nice reversal trend that I hit not the other day, it was a few weeks ago. That was in one of the YouTube videos as well. This would be decent. This will be decent, I think. But we would need, you see, like this is on the daily time frame too. So like imagine how many reversal candles or bearish candlesticks we would need to get back to our area of interest. Like it's gonna take a lot of time, you know what I mean? So at this point, it's like this might be a pair for next week or like 2 weeks from now, just because it might, have a lot of chop to come back here before going long. So we'll keep this on the maybe. AUD CAD. Okay, somewhat of a reverse head and shoulders, but it was looking pretty strong in the bullish direction. And we have a nice daily area of interest here. Decent, but it's not looking that clean. I mean, it can retrace back into here. 0.382 zone. I don't like trading the 0.382 zone, honestly, because when you have to place a trade here, then you have to cover like so much of your stop loss, right? Not too big of a fan. I mean, it might look decent for a breakout and retest, but it's just not gonna look crazy for this. This one would have probably been a good pair to trade the last week or something. Euro USD have this area of interest up here. We can see the breakout and retest perfectly, almost using the daily EMA. This one would have lined up decent with our fib. Almost would have covered a lot of our losses, or our stop loss would have covered majority of it, right? If we had this, we would have covered our demand. We would have been down here. Would have probably almost been okay. Maybe stop this out. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, if anything, I would have looked for this, right? We would have tried to do our fib sequence from here to here and then place an entry here, but that entry never came after this point. So wouldn't have happened last week. Looks okay, but I'm not honestly not a fan of it. NZD JPY. It's looking okay for shorts. Looking okay for shorts. Not too bad. Are we a fan of this? Are we a fan of this? Potentially. Thing is, I don't like it when the 0.618 zone again doesn't line up with our area of interest. It's lining up with our EMA, but it's like we're not here to trade our rules, right? We have our strategy for a reason. We're not here to just break it just because it looks decent. You know what I mean? And also our demand is really, really high up. So I'll pass on that one. Again, these are the JPY pairs. So honestly, only like two really strong pairs, I think, for this week. One thing we have to be careful of is this weekly double top too, but honestly, this huge rejection wick is really nice for me to see. Beautiful for GBP AUD. This will be the #1 pair for this week. This one has such high confluence. Looking very, very strong. Easily can have a great trade from this, right? Come back, retest this area of interest. And honestly, you need to probably go longer with this one because look at how much movement there is within a day of some of these candles, right? If we're trying to hold this out for maybe longer than just one day, let me expand this a little bit. And, we can easily reach up to maybe this point, hit a nice 1 to 4, 1 to maybe 3 if you want to hit this lower wick on this daily. So lots of really good potential, or even up here at these tops, right? Easy 1 to 2.5, which is, I think, probably going to be my profit target for this pair. So I think this is basically it for this week. We have two very strong pairs and then some maybes, right? This one's decent, and then decent again. So we'll have to see how those play out. But I want us to get some questions in because I think we only have about 10 minutes left. So go ahead and shoot some questions in the comments. And I'll try to answer to the best of my possibility if you guys have any questions. Yeah, let's see. Are you doing analysis each and every pair in Forex market or certain pairs by selected? Basically it's all the pairs that I have here. I don't have every single one. Like basically like CBP, CHF. These I don't really look at too much. Because these are just like very weird, I think, with the currencies, and also like look how much chop there is. There's not much movement. These ones down here, again, I have them on my pair, but I don't really trade them. The gold, Euro CAD, we already went over. These I'll move up a little bit actually, because these I might trade later on. But these like bottom 3-4 pairs are the only pairs that I don't really trade. Everything else I trade, or I do my analysis for. I don't have every single one. These are just the ones that I have. I'm sure there's probably more I could capitalize on, but I don't want to overload my chart and then end up having 6, 7 good pairs for the week, because that's where I started going downhill. Oh yeah, I did make a Telegram. I actually did. I forgot to share that with you guys. Let me see. I think I have it here in my other thing. Let me stop sharing real quick, and then I'm gonna paste it in the comments for you guys, okay? I'm gonna put it in the comments of this Discord. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram because it's asking me to log in on my computer, so we don't have enough time. Let's just go back to questions, right? Questions, more important. Where's my chat? Okay. If 4-hour had a shift of structure at the area of interest, then use fib on it and find there maybe 4-hour. If not, then refine it to have a tighter stop. I don't know what that means, Zenith. I'm sorry. Bro, if 4-hour shift of structure happens, then fib will use. We don't need 1-hour shift of structure. Well, like 90% of the time when you have a 4-hour shift of structure, you're gonna have a 1-hour shift of structure, right? So if you're 4 hours like this, and then it breaks bullish, like, and you use your fib or whatever, right? If you use your fib like this, your 1-hour is likely to already be bullish from this push upwards. And if it is bearish, then sometimes I do not care, right? It's mainly I like to see it when the 4-hour and the 1-hour all are like they have like the same fib tool. So if the 4-hour is bullish, it pushes up above this market structure point, and also the 1-hour is basically the exact same. That's when it like lines up so well. That's when you have such a high probability of just placing an entry here. Even if the 1-hour is still bearish, it's still very clean. How do you supply demand zone? I made a whole YouTube video about that. Vape have Barnwall. I made a video about that. You could go watch that. In the last trade, Alex is talking about the liquidity. Is he modifying his strategy? No, because basically what happens is he's using such a large position that he can't enter it all at one time. And like a lot of the brokers don't allow you to enter such a big position at one time. They cap the amount of lots you can submit. So basically what he has to do is basically say, okay, I'm entering one huge position, 50 lots here. I'm entering another huge position, 50 lots here. I'm entering another huge position, 50 lots here. So it ends up being like 3 or 4 trades just because he has to enter such a big position. And there's just like not enough liquidity. He can't just like use it all at one exact moment because there's not enough people selling for him to buy. It's a little hard to explain, but he need to have like if he's trying to buy 100 of these, he needs to have 100 people that are selling it, right? So if there's only 50 people selling it and he wants to buy 100, it'll say, okay, we're gonna give you the 50 that you want, but the other 50, we're gonna put you in here. We're gonna buy it from the next spot that we can. It's gonna be way too high. So he likes to just slowly enter in a position with lots of lots. Bro, I'm down 5%. Can I bring the account to positive? That's psychology, bro. I was the same not too long ago. Just gotta be very patient, and just trade very slowly, right? Like look at my pair, look at my thing for this week. I think I only have okay, I have 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left on this Zoom. We're pretty chilling. We're pretty chilling. Yeah, but on my pairs for this week, we have 2 like very strong pairs and then 3 maybes, right? So it's like, some are decent, some are pretty weak. You just need to have patience. Okay. Um, Bro, I have taken 5,000 funded and it's been 2 months, yet not clear with this. I'm not sure what your question is, Caitlin. Um, what's your question about that? Things to look at while entering, few things with bullish bearish engulfing. Yeah, you can use engulfing. The thing is like I stopped using engulfing because for this example, right? This huge example that we have here, right? When you're looking for an engulfing candle like Alex does, he waits for, the shift of structure, which happens, right? I'll delete this. He waits for the shift of structure. And then when it comes back, he waits for the retracement back, and then he waits for the engulfing to go long, right? So this engulfing might be like this candle right here, right? This like blue bullish candle after we have, um, say like some retracement back, right? So it'll be something like this, and then he waits for this engulfing to close above here. What I've realized though is that sometimes it just the engulfing candle is like so big that if you enter after it closes, like look how big your stop loss has to be. And that's even below this point. I normally like to keep it below this point too. So it's just like it's so big of a stop loss that you have to put that normally I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna put a buy limit here because I feel there's such a high probability of it bouncing off from this point. Now look what happens. Now instead of me entering at the point where Alex would maybe enter, right? I can shorten my entry by such a significant amount, have a tighter stop loss, yes. But now by the time he enters, I'm already up a 1 to 2. I'm already up a 1 to 8. You know what I mean? 1 to 1.8. So that's why I just used the demand zone entries and supply zone entries. So I'd be putting limits after change of structure. Yes, kind of. It depends if it lines up with the fib sequence, the EMA, the area of interest. If it lines up with all my other confluences, then yes. I am entering stop loss hitting pairs, not TP hitting pairs. Please suggest some things to clear up. You might have just an issue with having too big of a stop loss, or maybe your TP is too big. I would just like slow down. Like a lot of you guys always DM me on Instagram. They're like, I'm losing trades, I'm losing challenges. How can I change? You need to just go on a demo account, right? Just go on a demo account for 2 to 3 months on the same demo account. Don't try to like cheat it by like closing the demo account and opening up a new one. Stick with one demo account for 2 to 3 months. If you can be fully profitable on the demo account and you can get, a 5 to 10% return over the next 3 months on a demo account, then do a challenge. Don't wait and don't try to rush it, so early. So you just have to be very patient. Okay, Zenith, let me try to see this picture that you sent. Can I use fib at 4 hour higher low or higher high and use it there and find order block? I don't know what order block is. No idea what order block is. I'm looking at the picture you sent me. Yeah, I don't know what the image is really about. I mean, that's AUD CAD. That's like what we went over. So what's your exact question, Zenith? Bro, do you stay all day in front of the screen till trade plays out? Hell no. Fuck no. I literally like a lot of you guys don't understand. I still work, right? I still have a full-time job, right? So like I literally can't be in front of the charts, and that's just why I love trading part of Alex's strategy and also mixing in my own strategy with it with the supply and demand. So because like in the morning I'll wake up, I'll look at the charts and I'll see, okay, it is looking like I can enter at this zone or whatever. I'll place my buy limit and then I don't look at the charts. Like I'll set an alert for when it does maybe activate, and that's pretty much it. And maybe I'll check on my phone once in a while for it. But I'm not sitting in front of a computer like trying to trade. You know what I mean? Like the whole point is for me to place one position, two positions throughout the whole week, let it run for a day or two while I do a bunch of other stuff, do whatever the fuck I want, working or going to the gym or driving my car, or whatever it is. And then I just wait for it to play out, and then I'll close when I feel like I've made enough profits or if it hits my TP. So that's basically it. Like I'm not in front of the computer all day. The most amount of time I'm in front of my computer doing analysis on the markets is right now, is today. I'll spend about an hour or two, and then I'll make the videos for you guys. Supply and demand zone. Yeah, you could see. I mean, it's exactly like how I explained it before. Like you have your fib sequence set up decently. Okay, that's fine. And then you can see it taps into the supply zone. I don't know what's for the 4 hour supply zone. Yeah, it taps into the 4 hour supply zone, and then it goes short. So it looks fine to me. I don't know what your question is, but supply zones are only supposed to be tapped into once. If you're asking if it could be tapped into multiple times, no, technically no, right? You don't want it to just tap once. Like if we have a supply zone here or whatever, right? And then like, I don't know, say there's like a wick here. We don't want it to do this where it taps it once, goes bullish. Like you can't wait for another retest of the exact point you already tapped. Like it's already used. It's already liquidated that point. So it doesn't work. Yeah, hopefully that made sense. Okay. Um, what do you think about optimum risk to reward with this strategy? Yeah, I've seen a lot of success around 1 to 1.5s. I'm not a person that shoots for 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s. That's just never happening for me. And I think I've only hit that once. I hit a 1 to 5 once way back like 8 months ago. And I wasn't even trading on a funded account. I wasn't even doing a challenge account yet. I was on a demo account, and I'm pretty sure either it was just luck or something else. But yeah, like the whole point of understanding risk to reward ratio with your win percentage is you need to have almost the exact same um TP every single time, right? You want to have exactly a 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio in order to understand whether you are profitable or not. So I always shoot for 1.55, 1 to 1.5, or 1 to 2.5. It's like right in the in between, right? Those are like the main two zones that I'll look into. How are you telling and defining that supply and demand area? It's like the video I explained. You have to go watch the video. I made a whole YouTube video about it. Um, I think I explained it decently well. Use 4 hour structure and find a supply zone on 4 hour and refine it. Enter with the 5 hit stop loss. Oh, I see what you mean. You're basically saying like, can you use it on the 4 hour supply zone and just shorten your stop loss significantly? It gives you bigger risk reward. You can, but the thing is, it's like that's very risky, right? At that point, you're changing a lot about the strategy. At that point, like you're not, let's say you have some demand zones here, right? That you're trying to cover with your stop loss. Just for example, if you put like a 5 pip stop loss, you might be at like this zone here or something. And like, yeah, like you will potentially make such a, such a big profit of 1 to 7. Um, but price can just retrace back. Price might just retrace back a little bit more or even a little further before going to the upside again. So that's why I don't like to put such a small stop loss. I need to cover everything. I want to cover all my demand zones, my supply zones that haven't been hit yet, and also maybe some recent market structure low or just the full fib sequence low. That's basically it. I have less than 1 minute left. So last question. Should I close some position when I hit 1 to 1? No, set and forget. But that's up to you, honestly. For me, no, but some people, sometimes when I hit 1 to 1, stop losses at break even. Okay, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you have any more questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram or in the comment section down below in the YouTube video, whatever it is. I appreciate you guys so, so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck with this breathing or good luck with the trading. And take a quick breath, just calm down, and it'll be okay. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.